Hey, what's up guys, it's Hive and welcome back to our channel. So we were doing the research part for a more substantial video that's coming up. However, we came across a video from a certain big influencer who was in the middle of a house party whilst the world's in a global pandemic that is claiming thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of lives. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of lives. Just so many lives are being lost. So many. And that kind of got us thinking about how the worst person that you could allow to influence you is someone with a lot of clout and a lot of money. Let's start with the example of Tana Mojo. Tana Mojo is going out to parties without masks, without social distancing, without giving a fuck about anything and anyone. And yeah, sure, maybe she's doing that because she feels safe knowing that she's got the money and clout and influence to be able to survive it if she got it, and she's not particularly unhealthy, so she'll probably survive it if she gets it. But obviously she doesn't give a fuck about all the people's lives that she's putting at risk by spreading it, because that's not her problem, right? That's not her problem. Other people's lives that she's affecting, not her problem. And that's a common theme that you see around certain types of influencers. Specifically, I'm talking about the people who kind of flash their money around, live for the party, live in mansions. I don't think anyone should have enough money to live in a mansion unless you are adopting 10,000 kids and starting an orphanage or just housing a bunch of kids. You know, no one should have a mansion. No one should have that kind of money. Anyway, that's beside the point. But the problem with people like Tana Mojo feeling so secure in their health and their money and their influence that they could survive this virus if they caught it is that they're not just, one, they're not just affecting themselves, they're spreading the virus, but two, they're influencing people who may not be in that same situation. They may not be as stable, they may not be as healthy, and they may be living with people who are less healthy as well. They may also not have the kind of influence that would allow them to get a ventilator if they so needed one. But people like Tana aren't influencing these people to believe that it's time to just be here for the party, right? Who cares? We're gonna survive this. It's only killing young people, right? Wrong. It's killing everyone. It's not really that discriminatory. It's a virus. It's not a cop. So again, Tana's influencing these people who may not be in the same position to go out and party. This person may go out and party and spread the virus, first of all, but also get the virus and probably not survive, maybe not survive, depending on luck of the draw, and if they happen to have a ventilator available, which they probably don't. And let's not forget that those people might live with other vulnerable people who will definitely die if they catch the virus. But the person being influenced doesn't care, because their favorite influencer went out partying, so it's okay, right? It's fine, we're here for the party, Tana! But of course, Tana's not gonna care that the people she's influencing are potentially dying. She doesn't care, because it doesn't affect her, or her status, or her wealth. She doesn't care. She's there for her party, and if you happen to die because she influenced you to go to your own party, she doesn't care. It's not her problem. She doesn't care. Why should she? She doesn't know you. She influenced you, definitely. You thought that it was okay to go and live for the party because she's doing it and she doesn't care. People like Tana and Jake Paul and whatever, they will irritate the shit out of me, especially during this pandemic, but that's just the tip of the iceberg for this conversation. Then you've got people like Elon Musk, and I know some people, especially South Africans, are going to be surprised that I'm calling out Elon, because South Africans don't like to call out their own in public. We like to keep that amongst ourselves. And let me just give you a side note why. It's because we kind of have a sibling relationship with everyone in our country, whereas like we can shit talk them to each other, but don't you shit talk them because they're one of us. It's a very weird dynamic, but Elon, honey, take a fucking seat, I'm revoking your card. You no longer get the sibling protection. Just one glance at Elon Musk's Twitter, especially recently, is kind of the perfect example for what I'm talking about. Especially his recent tweet in which he says that another government stimulus check wouldn't be good for the people. Now I understand that he expanded on this tweet and he went on about how everyone should have a living wage just for existing, which I do actually agree with. I think everyone should have enough money to exist. And while I agree with the larger conversation he was having, that conversation that he was having to defend that first tweet didn't really connect to that first tweet, because that whole thing, that pipe dream of everyone being paid to just exist, to enable them to not be on death's door homeless, isn't gonna happen right now. And it's not gonna happen during a global pandemic. So saying that the people shouldn't get another government stimulus check is bullshit, and very, very damaging. And also, it's coming from the 5th richest person in the world who won't be affected if another government stimulus check doesn't go out. You'll still be able to eat, Elon. You'll still be able to survive and pay rent. So shut up. Shut up. I think the crux of what I'm saying here is that rich people should not influence you. And that is because rich people don't understand what it's like to be you. Rich people don't understand what it is like anymore. Even if they started off that way, they don't understand anymore what it is like to live now without that money. They understand back then, they don't understand now. And they're going to behave that way unless they have empathy and compassion. And not many rich people these days do. And I'm talking about the mega rich, not like your dad who makes 150k a year. I'm talking about the mega rich who could like solve world hunger 8 times and still be fine. Those people. I'm talking about those people. They are the first people to make comments about going out during a pandemic because they're fine if they catch the virus and they don't have anyone vulnerable near them. They're the first people to talk about government stimulus checks. They're the first people to talk about how you shouldn't raise the minimum wage. They're the first people to talk about that shit. But they don't know what it's like to live on minimum wage. They don't know what it's like to struggle right now. They don't know what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck anymore, and they need to stop making comments about things they don't understand. And what I'm getting at here is that rich people and huge influencers who don't have empathy and compassion don't care about you. They do not give a flying fuck about your well-being, whether it's monetarily, emotionally, or just health-wise. They don't care. They don't care. And some of them may think that they're caring in the right way or be trying to care, but are looking at everything in the wrong direction and misdirecting everything. Like Elon Musk with his whole everyone should earn a living wage just for existing. Very true. That does not connect right now to not getting a government stimulus package. No correlation at this current point in time. Nothing. No. And this is why I say huge people with a lot of money should not influence you. There are a few. I'm not saying all. There are a few people, like Jenna Marbles. She's a genuinely empathetic person, and I believe that she's genuinely a good person. And she didn't let money and clout get to her head. I genuinely believe this. We all genuinely believe this. But most of them... There are some larger influencers who haven't let money and power and whatever go to their head. They are still compassionate, empathetic people. But there are very few big influencers that I follow, and there are even fewer that I would consider monetarily supporting. Ever. Allow the people who you allow to influence you in your life be people who understand what it is like to be you right now. Or at least try to understand, who are empathetic and compassionate and don't come from a place where they are the 5th richest person in the world and don't understand that in the middle of a global pandemic we can't restructure the entire economy. And also, this is the man who thought that the virus was a hoax, and I think he said he was an anti-vaxxer once. Honestly, Elon is just a mess. He's like South Africa's estranged weird uncle that's just like... there. People who you allow to influence you should be people who do not have their eyes clouded to what it is like to struggle in today's world. People with compassion, people with empathy. Empathy is such an undervalued quality that this platform specifically, but social media in general, needs to elevate more of. Empathy should be the founding steps of humanity. And those you allow to influence you should not just come from social media. Maybe if you have like a really shitty situation where everyone in your family and everyone in your social circle and in your school and whatever is terrible, then fine, yeah. But find people in your everyday life who are just as empathetic, just as compassionate, and just as awake to the world to get some inspiration from. Hey, if you can't find that influence in your everyday life off of social media, be that influence for the people in your life. This video was kind of rambly, the point got away from us quite a lot there, but I hope you understood what I meant, and the basic crux of it is that rich people don't care about you. People with millions of followers tend to not care about you. Find influences and influence in your everyday life and on social media that does actually relate to you and does have your best interest at heart, not just their own. In this video I want to give you a short list of some creators that I very much enjoy following. Obviously it's not everyone that I love. I couldn't sit here for 3 hours and list them all, but there are so many great creators and so many people who don't have enough of a following for what great creators they are. They deserve your attention. They deserve a bit more bolster than people like Tana Mojo or Jake Paul. Please remember, these are in no particular order. These are just the top ones that come to my head as they come to my head. The first recommendation we have is Drawfee. Whether you like art or comedy or both, you will love Drawfee. These wacky, zany people are the sweetest people in the world, so hardworking and so funny. Their content has gotten me through a lot of bad times in my life. When I'm sad, I rewatch their content. It's gotten me through a lot of funks, and sometimes I just put on their content while I'm drawing, just for a laugh and to de-stress, because drawing makes me so frustrated. Seriously, our brother and us have both followed their channel for the entire ride, and now that they've gone independent, their stuff is just getting better and better. And honestly, they're so cool. I love their channel, and you probably will too. So that's my first recommendation. And that's the only one that is numbered, because Drawfee is the one channel I will never put in my watch later. I watch them now, then. So Drawfee's my number one. Always, forever Drawfee. The rest aren't in any particular order though, because they're just in my brain. They're just the people that I watch most regularly and who I love. We have Kat Black, who is a educational commentary, social justice type of channel. She talks about whatever is on her mind or whatever's going on in the world, but she tries to bring it to a place where there's something you can learn from it at all times. We've got Jimmy Snow, who is a very intelligent commentary channel, mostly focusing on kind of debunking and going against some more fundamentalist religious ideas, you know, sexist, racist ones, stuff like that. But he's branching out into more other social commentary, which is really, really good. And he's very intelligent and funny and quirky and cute. You've got Dominic Syracuse, who does kind of the same thing, but in a more comedic way. He is a comedian and trained actor. He is funny as all hell, but all of his videos kind of have a message to them. Even if they're just story times, the message is kind of learn from my dumb mistake, but also it's there to give you a laugh in a time of Kristen Maoni is a socio-political commentary channel focusing mostly on social justice. She's got that big sister teaching you how the world works and teaching you how you should fight the world vibe, which I really, really appreciate. She spits nothing but facts, and she's very, very just and compassionate in all of her videos. Then we have The Right Opinion, who is another commentary channel. He's more research and blunt opinion based. I don't know if blunt is the right word, but you know what I mean. He's more factual with his content. He puts a lot of work into his stuff, and I always really enjoy when I see him in my subscription feed. So there you go, The Right Opinion. Crime After Crime is actually a podcast, but I watch them on YouTube because seeing the two hosts laughing and stuff makes me happy, but that's besides the point. This is a true crime podcast hosted by John Lorden and Daniel Hallen. Two YouTubers who I also think you should follow. They're really great, they're very compassionate, empathetic, and they do what they do because they genuinely want to help people, and I think that's very important when it comes to true crime. Some other true crime people are like Stephanie Harlow, Kirsty Skye, Dark Curiosities, Joshua Miles, Brooke McKenna. Next you've got Domix, who I've been following since the beginning of his channel. He's really, really great animator story time. He doesn't upload often because animation takes forever, I know because I tried. But he's always very, very, very entertaining, whether it's just a light-hearted video or something more serious. He hits the nail on the head every single fucking time, and you should check him out. If you haven't already, check him out. Then we've got Kappa Kaiju, who is another commentary channel. He's also more fact-based, but he does intersperse his own opinions and some dry humor in there, and we know how I like some dry humor. And honestly, I just really like his vibe. We have Polyglot Progress, if you're into languages and learning languages. This is actually a friend of mine, so I may be a little bit biased, but Abigail works really, really hard on her languages and expanding her knowledge and sharing that knowledge with you. And I think if anyone is interested in learning languages or just keeping themselves accountable to learning languages, go to Polyglot Progress. They are great. You've got the Amazing. It's another animation YouTuber who I very much enjoy. I love his art style, I love his storytelling style, I love that he's just a sweetie pie. I just love animators. Speaking of animation community, we've got Jaiden Animations, obviously, and The Odd Ones Out, both of which quite popular. You probably know who they are. Something Else YT is another animator. He, once again, love his style. He is more on my zone of humor as well. He's got that comedic timing that I really appreciate, and I just love the way that he tells stories as well. So there you go. Also, he has a really cute dog. Amy Wright Meow and Katsun are two more animation YouTubers who I really enjoy. Illymation as well. Illymation's good. Just the whole YouTube animation community. Just go there. Just go there. Ginger Pale too. Just go there. Then we have D'Angelo Wallace, who is another commentary YouTube channel. I like his delivery. I like the fact that he has his research done. I like the fact that he shares his opinion in the way that he does. I just like his content. Someone who's not on this list, but is a bigger YouTuber I appreciate is PewDiePie. He's still pretty wholesome, just despite being successful, and I appreciate that. Also, I realized that I didn't mention anyone on the beauty side. It's because I don't really consume that kind of content. I try to, but I don't do it as often as I should. But I do personally know a lot of beauty YouTubers, and I will leave all their links in the channel down below. I hope you do check out those people. I hope you start bringing better influence into your life, smaller creators and people in your life who are just empathetic and compassionate. All that being said, I hope you guys are okay, and I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit the like button down below. If you have any comments on anything I said, please leave them in the comments down below or at our social media, which is in the description down below as well. If there's any other creators you want me to check out or everyone else to check out, leave them in the comments too. I would love to find more little creators. If you want to see more of our content, then please hit the subscribe button down below, and I will see you next time.